This asshole has invited us into the castle. Jacob, my sorcerer, is fuming with rage as he is winding up his incantation for Fireball as he is sitting there not eating. The ultimatum is set. We're free to leave Barovia, or we die. Jacob takes a look around and sees that no one seems to be sharing Jacob's eagerness to get this fight started. On his way out, Jacob steals some silverware, and right before he gets across the drawbridge, he stops and tells the group that he's going to go back inside, kill Strahd, or die trying. The ranger nopes the fuck out of there, hearing this, and the fight begins. We turn around and we see Strahd standing with his feet against the wall at a 90-degree angle, looking down at us and smiling. Wrong choice, he said. Animated brambles pounce on us. Spells are cast, weapons drawn, and the final fight thus begins. We hold off the attacking shrubs, and Jacob separates himself from the group to try and get a better shot at Strahd. At this point, Strahd has already taken a little bit of damage, and the elven sorcerer has already cast Counterspell a couple of times. On his way over, he casts Mirror Image, and lo and behold, wild magic. This teleports him 50 feet up into the air, and Strahd, seeing an easy target, tries to grab him and fails. Frustrated, Strahd then takes his turn to walk into the nearby window. Jacob, not wanting to fall 50 feet and take damage, uses Dimension Door and ends up in the same room as Strahd. A brief stare down occurs. Jacob is standing there and he tosses a bunch of the stolen silverware up into the air and casts animated objects. The knives and forks start to cut into Strahd and does a respectable amount of damage. But once again, wild magic. And this time, the worst happens. Jacob is turned into a potted plant. Strahd, seizing the moment, takes the opportunity attacks from all of the silverware and walks over to throw Jacob outside of the window. Outside, the last of the bushes are blasted to bits, as Olimiana has also set a few of them on fire, our druid now turned into a fire elemental. Tom, our resident Eldritch Blaster, says, "Let's get this fucker," and casts Arcane Gate, the exit leading into the very window that Jacob had exited unceremoniously. Jacob gets healed and drags himself over into the windowed room. The Vampire Lord realizes he's Strahd motherfucking von Zarovich and starts utilizing all of his available abilities, including catching in on a bunch of vampire underlings and starting to wail upon our tanks with furious speed. The group gets split into two. The Druid, Warlock, and Sorcerer are now dealing with the underlings outside, while the two tanks, the Fighter and the Paladin, are fighting for their lives. Now, the Druid, Warlock, and the Sorcerer are now dealing with a bunch of vampire underlings on the outside, while the Fighter and the Paladin, Ta and Goggins, are dealing with the Vampire Lord himself, separated by a wall of force. Ta goes down and Goggins is fighting for his life, doing everything he can to keep himself up. Goggins cries out with primal fury and casts Daylight on his Warhammer, and it has the intended effect. Several attacks later, Goggins' Warhammer drops to his feet, and then he crumples to the floor soon after. As he loses consciousness, the form of Strahd von Zarovich, Scourge of Barovia, starts to dissipate and turn into ash, leaving no mist behind.